Welcome to Learning Life Content. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Your support helps us grow and motivates us to bring you more fascinating and enriching stories. The Battle of Britain. A monumental clash of empires, fought not on the familiar terrains of land or sea, but high in the azure skies above the turbulent waters of the English Channel. This was a theatre of war where speed, agility and technological innovation were paramount. This was an unprecedented kind of war, a relentless battle for air supremacy that would determine the fate of nations. The skies became the new battleground, where radar technology and aircraft design played crucial roles. It was a desperate fight for survival, a struggle for the very soul and identity of a nation under siege. Civilians watched anxiously from below, knowing that their future depended on the bravery of the pilots above. Never before in history had a nation stood so resolutely alone against the overwhelming might of a conquering force. Prime Minister Winston Churchill's stirring speeches galvanized the British people, instilling a sense of unyielding resolve. Their fate precariously hanging on the unparalleled courage, unwavering determination and exceptional skill of a few brave pilots who soared into the fray. These pilots, often outnumbered, relied on their superior tactics and the advanced capabilities of aircraft like the Spitfire and Hurricane to hold the line. The year is 1940, a pivotal moment in the annals of history. The world stands on the precipice of monumental change. Across the vast expanse of Europe, the ominous shadow of Nazi Germany lengthens, casting a pall over the continent. The Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, strategy employed by the Nazis, has proven devastatingly effective. Poland, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, each of these nations has succumbed to the relentless and overwhelming might of the German Wehrmacht. The speed and ferocity of the German advance leave the world in shock. France, once considered the premier military power in Europe, has been crushed in a matter of weeks, its defences shattered and its spirit broken. The Maginot Line, once thought impregnable, has been bypassed with ease. Only Britain, under the resolute and defiant leadership of Winston Churchill, stands alone against Hitler's seemingly unstoppable war machine, a beacon of hope in a darkened world. The Battle of Britain is about to begin, a clash that will determine the fate of the free world. Facing the British across the vast expanse of the English Channel is the Luftwaffe, the formidable German Air Force, renowned for its tactical prowess and sheer firepower. Under the command of the ambitious and ruthless Hermann Göring, the Luftwaffe is a formidable force, boasting thousands of aircraft and experienced pilots. Many of these pilots are seasoned veterans of the brutal campaigns in Poland and France, where they honed their skills in blitzkrieg tactics and aerial combat. Standing resolutely against them is the Royal Air Force, known as the RAF, a symbol of British resilience and determination. Though outnumbered, the RAF is by no means outmatched. This highly trained and professional Air Force is equipped with some of the most advanced fighter aircraft in the world, including the robust Hurricane and the iconic Spitfire. These aircraft are not only marvels of engineering, but also symbols of hope and defiance. The stage is meticulously set for a monumental clash of titans, a battle that will ultimately determine the fate of nations and the course of history. The skies over Britain will soon become the arena for an epic struggle, where bravery, strategy and technology will intertwine in a desperate fight for supremacy. The Battle of Britain began in earnest in July 1940, marking a pivotal moment in the annals of aerial warfare. This was not just a battle for air superiority, but a struggle for the very survival of the United Kingdom. The Luftwaffe's initial assaults were meticulously planned. focusing their formidable firepower on British shipping routes and coastal installations along the English Channel, aiming to cripple the lifelines of the island nation. These attacks were intended to disrupt the flow of supplies and reinforcements, creating a stranglehold on Britain. The overarching strategy was to draw out and systematically annihilate the Royal Air Force, thereby softening up British defences in preparation for a potential full-scale invasion by the German forces. The Luftwaffe's commander, Hermann Göring, believed that by destroying the RAF they could pave the way for Operation Sea Lion, the planned invasion of Britain. In response, the RAF launched a fierce counter-offensive, with their Hurricanes and Spitfires proving to be formidable adversaries, engaging the German bombers and their fighter escorts in relentless dogfights. The RAF's strategy was to use their radar technology to detect incoming raids and scramble their fighters to intercept the enemy before they could reach their targets. The skies above southern England transformed into a swirling maelstrom of aerial combat, with both sides enduring heavy losses as the fate of Britain hung precariously in the balance. The bravery and tenacity of the RAF pilots, often referred to as the few, became legendary as they fought against overwhelming odds to defend their homeland. Section 5. Eagles over Dover. In August of 1940, the Luftwaffe, under the command of Hermann Göring, shifted their strategic focus to target the RAF's airfields and radar stations, which were crucial to Britain's defence. This marked a significant escalation in the Battle of Britain, as the Luftwaffe sought to gain air superiority in preparation for a potential invasion. These relentless attacks, known as the Kanalkampf, were meticulously planned to cripple the RAF's operational capabilities and weaken their ability to defend the skies above southern England. The Luftwaffe's strategy involved a combination of bombing raids and fighter sweeps, aiming to destroy as many RAF planes on the ground as possible. The fighting was fierce and unyielding, with both sides suffering significant and devastating losses in the intense aerial dogfights that ensued. The skies over Dover became a battleground, with the RAF's Spitfires and Hurricanes clashing with the Luftwaffe's Messerschmitts and Heinkels in a deadly dance of aerial combat. The RAF, however, possessed a crucial advantage: their sophisticated network of radar stations, which provided them with early warning of incoming Luftwaffe raids, allowing them to strategically position their fighters. This early warning system, known as Chain Home, was the first of its kind and proved to be a game-changer in the battle. This technological edge, combined with the unparalleled bravery and exceptional skill of their pilots, enabled the RAF to inflict heavy losses on the Luftwaffe, ultimately preventing them from achieving air superiority over Britain. The resilience and determination of the RAF pilots, often referred to as the few, became legendary, and their efforts during the Battle of Britain would go down in history as a defining moment in aerial warfare. Section 6. The Luftwaffe's error. Frustrated by their inability to decisively break the Royal Air Force's defences, the Luftwaffe, under the command of Hermann Göring, shifted their focus once again in September 1940. This decision came after months of intense aerial combat, where the Luftwaffe had failed to gain air superiority over Britain. Instead of continuing their relentless assault on RAF airfields and radar stations, which were crucial to Britain's defensive capabilities, they began a sustained campaign of bombing London and other major British cities. This shift in strategy, known as the Blitz, was intended to break the spirit of the British people and force the government to surrender. This significant change in tactics, driven by a desire to break British morale, proved to be a strategic blunder of monumental proportions. The Luftwaffe underestimated the resilience and determination of the British populace, who, instead of crumbling under the pressure, became more united and defiant. The respite from the relentless attacks on their airfields allowed the RAF to rebuild its strength, repair damaged aircraft and train new pilots. This period of recovery was crucial, as it enabled the RAF to maintain its defensive operations and continue to challenge the Luftwaffe in the skies. Meanwhile, the bombing of British cities only served to stiffen the resolve of the British people, uniting them in their determination to withstand the onslaught. The Blitz, as this period of intense bombing came to be known, would continue for months, causing widespread destruction and loss of life. However, the critical phase of the Battle of Britain had been won, and the Luftwaffe's era ensured that the RAF remained a formidable force in the skies. The decision to target civilian areas rather than military installations allowed Britain to recover and ultimately contributed to the Luftwaffe's failure to achieve its objectives. Section 7. A Nation Stands Firm. September 15, 1940 would go down in history as the pivotal Battle of Britain Day, a day that would forever be etched in the annals of history. It was a day when the spirit of the British people shone brightly amidst the darkness of war. On this fateful day, the Luftwaffe, the formidable aerial warfare branch of the German Wehrmacht, launched two massive and relentless air raids on London with the strategic intent to break the backbone of the Royal Air Force and compel Britain to the negotiating table. The skies over London were filled with the ominous roar of enemy aircraft. The Royal Air Force, however, was not caught off guard. They were prepared and waiting, their resolve steeled by the dire circumstances. The pilots, ground crew and support staff worked tirelessly, knowing that the fate of their nation rested on their shoulders. In a series of fierce and intense aerial engagements, the RAF pilots, with their unmatched skill and determination, inflicted heavy and devastating losses on the Luftwaffe, ultimately forcing them to turn back. The bravery and tenacity of the RAF were on full display as they defended their homeland. The Battle of Britain was far from over, but on this day the tide had unmistakably turned in favour of the resilient British forces. The courage of the RAF and the unwavering spirit of the British people stood as a testament to a nation that refused to bow down, a nation that stood firm in the face of adversity. Section 8. The Legacy of the Few. The Battle of Britain was a pivotal moment in World War II, marking a significant turning point in the conflict. It was a battle fought in the skies, where the bravery and skill of the Royal Air Force pilots were put to the ultimate test. It was the first major defeat for the seemingly unstoppable Nazi war machine, and it proved to the world that Hitler's Germany was not invincible. The Luftwaffe's failure to gain air superiority was a critical blow to their plans for invasion. The victory, however, came at a heavy price for the Royal Air Force, who suffered significant and devastating losses during the intense and relentless battle. Many young pilots, some barely out of their teens, gave their lives in the defence of their country. But their sacrifice was not in vain, as their bravery and determination ensured the safety and freedom of future generations. The legacy of these pilots, often referred to as the Few, is remembered and honoured to this day. As Winston Churchill famously said, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few," encapsulating the profound gratitude and respect owed to these courageous pilots. Their legacy lives on in the annals of history, a testament to their heroism and the enduring spirit of resistance against tyranny. Today their memory is preserved through various memorials and commemorations, such as the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, which keeps the spirit of their sacrifice alive for future generations to witness and appreciate. Section 9. Never Surrender. The Battle of Britain was more than just an air battle. It was a monumental clash of wills and a defining moment in the annals of aerial warfare. The skies over Britain became the stage for a fierce struggle where bravery and strategy were tested to their limits. It was a testament to the indomitable courage and unwavering determination of the British people who stood defiant in the face of tyranny and oppression, refusing to bow down. Civilians endured relentless bombings, yet their spirit remained unbroken, symbolizing the nation's resolve. The legacy of the Battle of Britain lives on today, a poignant reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can triumph over despair, and that the human spirit is capable of extraordinary resilience. The sacrifices made by the pilots, known as the Few, and the steadfastness of the home front continue to inspire generations. The freedom we cherish is a prize worth fighting for, a beacon of light that guides us through the shadows of adversity. Winston Churchill's words, "We shall never surrender," encapsulate the spirit of a nation that against all odds stood firm and emerged victorious. Thank you for watching Learning Life content. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Your support helps us grow and motivates us to bring you more fascinating and enriching stories.